about my people. Black a royal generation with no equal. Mr. Government, you know we're in a pickle, where our chance of rising up is slim and diesel. Take your place in this front line, raising up the bass of our drum line. This is not a race, it's a timeline. Controlling your pace like that fine wine. Nehanda, sipping mizo yogurtanda. Nehanda, sipping mizo yogurtanda.
A very good evening to all the viewers tuned in for the spoken word program at Shoko Festival 2021. The Netherlands Embassy in Harare is delighted to be sponsoring this special event. Though it is sad we cannot be rubbing shoulders, I wish to congratulate Magamba Network for forging ahead to put on a show that anyone with a phone and internet can tune into from anywhere in the world. Wherever you are, here in Zimbabwe, in the Netherlands or beyond, I hope that you're just as excited as me for what's about to light up our screens. Being Dutch, I'm especially thrilled and proud about the collaboration between our own wordsmith Smita James and Zimbabwe's SHALdo. Even in my short time in Zimbabwe, I've been impressed with the passion, creativity, warmth and determination of the people I've met here, in spite of the many crises going on at the same time. What is so notable today is that these crises have multiplied and crossed borders and oceans. There is nobody in the world that has not been touched by the COVID pandemic in some way. Climate change and social inequality are also urgent and global in nature. It is very apt, then, that two great poets from different continents unite their minds and words and feelings and hold a mirror to us and to the world. That is what poets do. Plato said that poetry is near true. And I say to the poets tonight, let us have it. With so many crises, now more than ever, you must speak truth to power. As one of my favorite poets, Khalil Gibran, said, poetry is a deal of joy and pain and wonder with a dash of the dictionary. I extend my congratulations to Magamba once more for hosting this important event. I thank each and every performer coming on tonight. Thank you, and let us enjoy and wonder.
You know what? Talk is cheap, but I can't afford to sell lies.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
I'll have to deal with the consequences, but for now, I'll shake a spear with the pen. I pick the pen and paint the pattern of pain. I write so much, but who the heck is listening? So I write in Braille since nobody sees me. Prayers feel like talking to self in the hopes that God is listening, and I'm just so glad you could listen.
You will find bits of brain smashed into the brick wall, seeping into the grounds of our society. As you know, every house was on fire. All the streets got stone cold as all familiar faces disappeared from the scene. The scene we have all been in for far too long. You know, I love how silence opened my windows, how my breath knocked upon my door again, as if nothing new had happened. And maybe it didn't. Everything I knew got burned down in the depths of me. And I was looking for answers, knowing that I needed a change of tools. You know, sometimes you gotta stir up the flower pot to soil every seed in it, to make sense of watering the growth while waiting for what is promised, waiting for what you need while waiting for what you deserve. In the middle of everything and everyone going nuts, I stopped existing. I just stopped existing.
Thoughts on circle and lives. Analyzing the circus code life. Nobody asked the depression. We water the seeds of our prayers with our tears, but that's better than Nisodzi. We share, so I'm just but some days my attitude is a man by his own scarf. That we fight to liberate ourselves, we fight to protect our rises. The dysfunction, I guess in some ways that's true, but I've always wondered if the government knew what govern meant. I've realized that it costs a lot to be free, so pardon me, Ndikambodura. I'm a soldier of love, but we lose a lot of heart chasing after that nakadula, yet in truth, tese rutsenganza. Smita, I think you're on mute. Can you mute yourself?
Sorry about that. Technology.
There we go.
No, but I found my sanity at the bottom of a barrel filled with fear, existential fear. I mean, we all come from the hands of Mother Earth, yet not everybody recognizes Gaia. And there are agents with protein codes dismantling systems in systems in systems, and now shadows are overruling the illusion of what's supposed to be real. I mean, the space between my legs is still a void, sucking up dirt in the very own privacy of being. Being with self, being with others, being together, being a woman. Women give birth to all mankind. Still, all can't appreciate the source of life. These government brainwashed us to spit on mama like they will ever be something without her.
But who am I to put myself in my own bracket, when even God minus the only one? Death crossed hate and multiplied it with love just to add souls to the kingdom. It's the mathematics of eternity, but we can't balance shit. We are petty chasing numbers and cash, making scribbles and books we can't account for. We can't balance shit.
And as capitalism is at its end of stardom, we are locked down on the verge of freedom. We used to blame the system, but who do we speak of? Who can we speak to other than us? They blind us for their crumbling towers. Still, we can be hopeful to overcome. We got Greta Thunberg pleading green, Black Lives Matters globally. Non-binary people understand that life is not about existence. We can be hopeful if you dare to live. If you dare to live intentionally free. Free from codependency, free from the war within you, free from money greed as power is to see, in coming from love, with love, because of love, when we do for love.
I've actually been thinking deeply about our last conversation and the many unanswered questions we had. I've pondered upon the matrix of our existential conundrum, and I can't help but think of myself as Neo and reiterate his words. I don't know, but I believe. I actually wrote something I'd like to share with you, and it goes a little something like this. The irony of dreams. Every time I try to tell them, people around me were sleeping on them. The irony of death. Every time I faced the loss, its gift was reinvigorated life. And maybe that's the thing about a touch of God. You only feel it most when you're paralyzed. There's some sad irony in that no matter how hard you cry, no one sees your tears when you're in the rain. But at the end of the storm, the rain bows to the 7-color spectrum, the rainbow. In the end, you're assured of the proverbial pot of gold. And to quote Neil once again, I don't know, but I believe.
Do y'all hear that? That's the vigorous vehemence of our virtuous yet violent vibrations violating the firmament which exists between the earth and the place of our rebirth, the beating of our hearts in unison like a great ceremonial drum. This is more than just a search party. This solution of a revolution. Women and men in arms on a mission. We need to find her. We are going to find her. Her who possessed her own body after repossessing it from the hands of ravenous wolves in sheep's clothing, who once undressed themselves behind her bedroom door. Her with meandering hips and thighs so thick we can rest our burdens on her, whose breast sagging with doubt hid behind a bra for assurance. Her with hair firmly rooted in a crown-like skull, a queen without a throne, speech thought in numerous accents, yet on her mother's tongue akananja defeat and switched kururimi ruamai and tasted mate neti, and we fed on those lips and never again tasted hunger. And this is why we need to find her. Her with skin as dark as mastered the art of resurrection, so she could teach us how to breathe again without the aid of machines, so she can show us that grade 0 and 0 level, O level, both or graduates of philosophy from the streets, so she can teach us mothers how to become foremothers, so she could teach you fathers how to behave like brothers, so she could teach our daughters how to become like women, so she can teach our men how to become human. We need to find her. We are going to find her.
My dreams have become heavy-hearted trances of your memories. Your fire soul paints these memories with sad, troubled strokes on the canvas of my mind. With each flame, an ode to your lost soul. And with each ember, a bitter cry for our lost souls. Yet every now and then, I can still taste your spicy resilience in the weary eyes of my brothers. They chant a mystical call for you. They seek desperately for your glittery waters to quench their parched spirits. Every now and then, I can still hear your unwavering pulse bubbling under the unfed taste buds of my sisters. I still smell you on the rags that remain of you. Your distinct cologne on your genuine leather soul and your gold-chained spirit, so that the streets can remember that you were more than just a West Side gangster. You were an oasis from which our deserted children drank from. And so, on the hot days, I will burn the love letters that you wrote in the heat of your passion, and hope to find the letters of your being in the ashes. The A's, the B's, the Z's, may they lead me right back to you. On the cold nights, I will guard your ashes with hopeless jealousy, mocked by the strains of hope that are still engraved in my heart. These strains tell me that from these dry ashes, a phoenix that is you will rise, and we will find our light in the brilliance of your wings. We will find our laughter in the radiance of your smile. And in that very moment, I will once again feel the joy that we felt in the games that we played. Pada, Raka, Maflau. In that very moment, I will once again taste the happiness in my eyes. Lolo ne mango mpishi zepa next door. I will bathe in the dust that seasoned our jubilation every time we danced in the sand. Tirivana vechecha. On the warm nights, I will still light my soul next to your ashes and embrace the bittersweet sparks that they ignite in my heartstrings. And I will hope that one day these ashes will strum themselves into a harmony that is you. We need to find you. We are going to find you.
She is born of fire, out of a womb built from sand cemented by years of grief and resilience, God-like valiance. A fire whose flames are fueled by a nurturing spirit prepared to burn down walls crafted by clueless men of forbidden ground to seclude the fruit of her womb. Decades before this day, she did nothing but king in the southern parts of the motherland sea. Her four sisters buttered both sides of their bread. They were fed. She was the milk, she was the honey. Not once did she fall short or leave any of us famished. But this was before she lost a couple of nights and the queen in a lousy game of chess. Way before we started playing hide and seek. 1, 2, 3, she'd block herself. She got stuck in the mud once or thrice. Way before these tendencies of moving back and forth, losing the plot, swallowed her whole. She was whole. I believe we lost her somewhere between sunrise and sunset, somewhere between the hiding and the seeking. She hid further away each time. She sought in all the wrong places most of the time. Sometimes they wouldn't notice she was part of the game, so she would hide, but no one would seek she. Even though she dined with the sun, sometimes she didn't shine. Not even her golden teeth and the thousands of other piercings could illuminate her or her path. So most of the times, she was othered. I believe we may have lost her somewhere between sunrise and sunset, somewhere between the hiding and the seeking. She hid further away each time. She sought in all the wrong places most of the time. I could hear her voice faint. I could feel her presence depart from us. The dust didn't rise no matter how hard she stomped her feet. We continued to beat her drums, but we couldn't hear her chant. I saw her fade into something that looked like a cloud, neither bright nor dark. I saw her do things only somebody going to someplace far, far away would do. Like wave a couple of times like a toddler on the way to class, that caught him one smile with eyes heavy from grief and defeat, like the ocean pouring into the sea, like the infamous king turned frog, coughed a couple of times before he took his last breath, a dying engine, the final kicks of a dying horse, like a mother breastfeeding her child for the very last time. I think we may have lost her somewhere between sunrise and sunset, somewhere between the hiding and the seeking. She hid further away each time. She sought in all the wrong places most of the time. But we need to find her. We are going to find her.
Lost at sea. Took sail to foreign waters to sow her treasures. Lost at sea, blinded by the need to access greener pastures. Lost at sea, in search of those shores of success, she fell victim to the shifting of the waves and the sea current. Looking back into her history, she was born with pure skin. Every inch of her exuded purity that contained honesty and transparency. Her inner parts looked like they were beyond corruptible walls. Like Jericho, there were no penetrations to her innocence. The fertility of her soil was evident, a future bearer of kings and queens. Nicknamed the bread basket, but it's sad to witness a presence degrading to mere crumbs. She used to be a symbol of light, but she had her sunshine day robbed. Now she is full of stars as a symbol of her darkness. She used to be a symbol of light, but now she had her sunshine day robbed. Now she is a symbol of darkness. She has been transformed into a night with a moon reflecting off the skin of those sleeping under her naked sky. She has been transformed into a moon with those sleeping under her naked sky. Once infused with the breath of life, her lungs now hold burdens that fight her ribcage. Caged in her freedom, she fights with nails and a toothpick, digging into the bars of a self-inflicted cell. She stands as a distorted art piece with a fading color template. Her outer shades cannot be readjusted by any masterful brush. No artist can seem to truthfully restore her to being a masterpiece. She, on her shoulders, she used to carry a history of awakened bones, but now she has been transformed into a broken museum with all her skeletons on display. The imperfections she carries are evident to all eyes. No parts of her flaws can truly be hidden. We all can witness the scarring of her mask. The cracks of her foundation cannot be masked by any mascara. Lost at sea, took sail to foreign waters to sell her treasures. Lost at sea, blinded by the need to access greener pastures. Lost at sea, in search of those shores of success, she fell victim to the shifting of the waves and the sea current. Trapped in the oceans of greed, incapable of purchasing her freedom because of the shifting sea current, because of the shifting currency, she is trapped and lost at sea. We need to find her. We must find her. We are going to find her.
I still think of her. Her hair trickled down her backbone and now she's gone. Her memories sting those that long for her aura, her voice. As familiar as the voice of a stranger, only a fair share of inner rage can cure her anger. She taught us the melodies of the gods. As she snuggled up in dawn when she was stripped of her rights, and now we are left to sense the clear clouds of darkness. You see, I last saw her in the mess field, tilling for land, singing like a one-woman band in hopes that the universe smiled on her, but now she's lost. She told me the story of how she was the only one that took time to wake up at 3 just to make sure that she showed us she was the woman that we've been waiting for. No one was there to high-five her for being in 6s and 7s to make sure that we ate. I said we must find her. Her tears stained my thoughts as the very same people that were supposed to nurture her caused the fracture. The same way how necks and suicide ropes kiss. You see, she was destined to fall like autumn leaves, but we had hoped that she would be manure when she hits the ground. See, there was hope. That would ungrip her from the chains of abuse and maybe turn her into a muse. There was hope. That would wipe her dry tears. I said we must find her. We must find you.
Our beautiful display of boldness has left us bereaved, I believe. I hate to be Banshee, the bearer of bad news, but our efforts have ended in vain. Our efforts have ended once more in our veins, cursed by blood, wasted sweat and goals we never met. We are haunted by regrets. We have failed to find her. We might never find her, a product of the armed struggle, with children who are still struggling, although arm in arm, and sons of the soil who are killing each other for land and farms, and daughters of peace who are resting on post-colonial cushions that feel a lot like harm, that feel a lot like self-inflicted pain, wasn't sane enough to say no when they tried to offer her sugar for her cane, wasn't able to protect her glitter. The same glitter she sold because no one had told her it was actually gold. Her, who earned her name in 1979 and lost it years ago. No longer a safe heaven of stone worth enough for the builder to refuse. Refuse, a place of waste. Zimbabwe, is she? Zimbabwe, are you? We missed you. We needed you. But we may never know you again. We miss you. We need you. But we will never know you again.